Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. If I was a misogynist, I wouldn't be as ticked off and angry as I am right now. I openly admit that I am very ticked off and very angry at this point because even though I've gotten another position, another job, and that does make a good bit easier, there's still the fact that going through a transition, I had to struggle to get a train ticket to go to another city from which I could more easily travel back to my previous city to rejoin my wife and sit with her until the new position starts. Oh, sorry for yawning in your ears, guys, but until the new position starts again in Riyadh. It was a struggle. The train company was just screwing up. No reason, no rhyme, just wasn't working. I go get the ticket, hit the pay button, nothing. Click pay again, nothing. Then I called, got a lady on the phone who told me, well, you can take a screenshot, show us what's going on to this WhatsApp number. So I added that, did what she said. They said you can either do it online or on the app, or you can go to the station, but it's going to cost more money. And I told him, listen, dumbass, I'm telling y'all about the problem because I'm not willing to go to the station and pay more for the same ticket. Your online's not working. Your app's not working. And these niggas sent the same damn message to me again in response to that one. So I sent a video of me doing it online where you click the pay button and nothing works. And I said, now, stupid. Again, it doesn't work. Did you all know it wasn't working? Either you fix this and tell me, or just give me a free ticket then. How about that, dummy? Because you see that I'm doing this. The F's wrong with y'all. And you keep suggesting to me, go back, go to the station and try to buy it. Man, Father, what would I just pay more to do that? So I got to be a jerk with these people because they idiots, because they stupid. Now, what's the reason for this? I miss my wife. And I don't need any test of patience when I'm trying to go back to her. And some of you would say, well, yeah, of course, you've been away for a month. Yeah, you ready to screw. Well, in actuality, I'm an older guy, and I've been physically punished this month since I've been here because Riyadh's been abnormally cold, and a lot of days it rained, which made it colder. I've slipped and fallen and hurt myself, so that recovery has taken something out of me. I've had to walk back and forth to and from work each time. It's killing me. So physically speaking, I'm not even at my healthiest. So it's not that I'm just missing them draws. Now, when I get back to our old city and I get to eating her cooking, then I think I probably will get to that point. But the way my luck is running, I probably get back and she wouldn't be able to for a few more days. It's just the way my luck runs. So it's not even about that. It's actually about who she is. So of course I'm pissed that any test of patience pops up. At this point, don't need it. It's not making me a better person. None of this. These tests of patience and frustrations aren't doing anything to make me better. I'm going to be a worse asshole until I get what the fuck I want when I want it, if I pay for it. Plus, I don't have the money to just be sitting out here, just staying here longer. And that's what a lot of people don't understand when I tell them about certain things and certain troubles. So no, if I was a misogynist, I wouldn't be ready and looking forward to getting back to my girlfriend. If I was a misogynist, I would right off the bat disbelieve everything the Crimson Cure says, even despite the time she's put in. I would automatically see Shay Sade as an enemy, Chantel Simone. Without them having done anything to show this, I would look for something. I'd make up something. I think there will be things they may not understand, but I'm not taking them as enemies right off the bat because they're at least trying to tell ladies in good detail how to behave themselves and how to not push us away. At the very least. Do we have this going on? Even with a lot of dudes, we don't have this. If I was a misogynist, that's what it would be. If I was a misogynist, I wouldn't have waited for Melanie King's mask to fall off. And by the way, I meant what the F I said about how she should be falling off. And I meant what I said about how if anybody's still supporting even some of the ones that I've mentioned as not being enemies, but they're just new. If I find out about you financially supporting them too much, done. I'll tell anybody, okay, well, this is who I know. If you know him personally, I know he was up there sending all buckets of money to these ladies. Not that the women are the problem, but cancel this dude socially if you know him, because we don't do this for each other. So, if I was a misogynist, it would be like that. And I'm actually very much like most of you. And that means that misogynists are quite few. Most of us are not misogynists. Misogynists are rare. Most of us are these regular, normal guys who've been through the ringer trying to find someone, usually when we were younger. That's who most of us are. Most of us were provoked to misogyny and still did not become misogynist. And most of the provocation came before we even got to high school. Most of us are not upset or bitter about just who we didn't get, but we're more so upset or bitter, if even bitter, about just being lied to about why not. And that's really the extent of what our issues are. It's mostly the lies. And we found out what the games were and what they wanted, and we're upset about that because we came to find out that most of what it is that these broads wanted to do to us were things that we were always told by them that women just don't even want to do to men ever, period. And we're upset about that, and we should be. We don't owe any apologies for that. If I was a misogynist, if you were misogynist, if misogynists were even medium in number, the population would be a hell of a lot lower than what it is now. I didn't come here to this country because I'm a misogynist. I didn't even like the idea of a nation in which women cannot drive. Now, if they just didn't prefer it, that's one thing. But I didn't like the idea of a country in which they can't drive. You know why? When I would be teaching, and I like to actually teach uninterrupted, except for questions that have to do with the lesson. Better when asked niggas, yeah, I said it, would come knocking on the door all the time, not even my students. Doctor, and they point to one of my students, Abdurrahman, the Giga. I'd be like, nigga, who are you? You the fifth one to interrupt in 15 minutes. Every time I start a lesson, one of you knocks on the door. I look at my students and say, are you niggas sitting up here sending messages to your friends, come knock on the door and interrupt him? Because that's what I'm getting. It's happening all the time. And this was early on. Then I have students and their phones would ring and they would answer. And they come up to me, Doc, I need to go. Well, nigga, go. Yeah, but am I going to be marked absent? Effing right. No, doctor. Excuse me, who the hell you telling no? Coming up to me all up in my face want to argue and your breath smell like camel pussy. Talking about something, no, I'm not going to mark you absent. Yes, the hell I am. I'm supposed to. That's the job. You've been here 20 minutes and you know what the reasons would be for this? My mom needs me to take her to the hospital. Yeah, okay, that's not a bad reason to leave. But when you're excused and you get to be absent for 40 hours per class before you fail, go ahead and take that L. It's only an hour out of 40. Take her to the hospital. But their sisters and mothers always call them to go run errands all the time. And I'd be like, so they don't know that you're in a class and you're supposed to finish? No, doctor. This is my mother. Okay, fine. Go ahead. Yes, you are absent this hour. But doctor, I can only be absent one more hour and then I fail. I already got 39. Okay, well then nigga, you just failed. Go take care of your mother. See you next semester. And it would lead to arguments and I'd be like, bro, make your choice. Nobody gets marked present and they leave. I wouldn't have wanted to come to a country like this, to be honest with you. I've stated before, I left the US for spiritual reasons. I came here for financial reasons. I didn't choose this country as part of my hijra. I didn't choose here for spiritual reasons. I can remember when I suggested working a job here teaching to another teacher. First thing she said was, I don't know, the way they treat women over there. And I thought to myself, man, they spoil women here, except sexually. I mean, that varies from husband to husband, wife to wife. How the hell will we know? But other than that, the women don't have to drive. Driving is frustrating. And before women were allowed to drive, you know what Saudi wives used to tell their husbands a lot? Why did you stop and let him go around you? Because they didn't know how to drive. They would want their husbands to try to use the cars to bully other cars out the way all the time because they didn't know how traffic works. And these women here can be some hyenas at times. Like the way they want their men to be scary to other men. Yeah, they're terrible with that. It's a good thing that the men and the women don't usually sit down together when they're socializing. The women are socializing in their spot and the men are socializing in their spot. That's actually a good thing because the men get along much better without the women sitting around instigating, because they'll do that. Because they all want to be with the only silverback. But they don't know the way this is set up. These women they have a choice to make. They don't get to all be with the only silverback. So dudes, when we socialize, we don't have to go barking and growling when we know we wrong just to prove that we men. Because women ain't around. And God forbid one of them starts dipping into men's business and telling men how to behave around each other. Well, you need to be... What the hell you doing over here? You see? But when they didn't let them drive, it was a problem. I wanted the women to have the option of driving. It's up to them when and how they feel safe driving, but I wanted them to at least have that option. Because frankly, a lot of guys here lost their education. A lot of them here lost their education and they became nothing but no good niggas. Because they were chauffeuring around their sisters and moms. I'm the only son in the family right now. Stuff like that. Doctor, you need to help me. How am I gonna help you? You're never in class. You're never in class. Yeah, but doctor, I gotta drive my mom and my sisters here and there. Oh, okay. Well, how's your car doing? It's okay. Well, you need money to take care of that car and keep it running. And to get money, you need an education. And there's still no guarantee that you will have money. Doctor, help me. You don't fuck to shuck up. These niggas beg. When they don't qualify for something in life they want, begging is a common tactic. Before I got snatched out that other good job I found by this fuck ass employee I got right now. Thank goodness that my friend was able to hook me up with seems to be a good position. But before that point, when I was working at this other, the new job that I wound up not being allowed to take, yeah, that one. I remember we had to give interviews to these kids. Basic interviews, basic English questions. Not say basic things in English and they look at me and blink, huh? I would tell them in Arabic, listen, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to ask you 2 questions in English. That's it. They ain't hard. But you got to answer me in sentences. You got to answer me in English. And you got to answer what I said to you. Those would be the 3 things. And I would tell them these conditions in Arabic. And they would look at me and go, Doctor, I don't speak English. I didn't talk to you in English yet. And if you don't speak it, then get out. I mean, if you speak very little of it, that's fine. Stay for the test. But if you mean it, if you're telling me that it doesn't matter what question I ask because it's English, you don't understand it, and these are easy questions, get out now. And there was one guy, he just stupid as a box of rocks, and yes, it's because he didn't speak English or Arabic correctly. And this nigga started begging when I told him he failed. Doctor, please. And I told him, you know what, because you beg now, you're definitely not gonna get it. Because you up here begging, you got all these kids up here. Yeah, but doctor, when I was in school, I had to drive my sisters and my mom around all over the place. This is before the driving was legal. I was like, let me guess. There was no brother or dad to help with the driving. Or dad's dead. Got it. That's not your fault. What is that you didn't tell them to wait. I'm not saying you were supposed to abandon them, but they were supposed to wait till you finished your classes and things like this. What that tells me is that they didn't feel a guck about you or your future. They only cared about what they want and need right now. Now let me guess, you took them to the hospital a lot, right? Yeah, you were. You know why they were taking them to the hospitals? Some of them had sneaky links at the hospitals. That's what the problem was. One of them. You got somebody young and healthy always going to the hospital all the time, always going to the hospital. Yeah, of course you always want to go to the hospital. That's that male nurse or that, or maybe, probably not a doctor, but there's that male nurse or somebody that you got an arrangement with. Because people here did not prioritize finding husbands for women that were already married. They didn't prioritize finding husbands for women in general. That's misogyny to me. Dad's got daughters that look nice, but they won't go and look for a husband for the daughter. My daughter's beautiful. God should be coming to the door. They don't see your daughter. They don't know how she looks. You'd have a fit if somebody knew how your daughter looks. Even then, when he shows up, you want him to be willing to marry your daughter without seeing how she looks, even as much as the shawty allows her to see how she looks. You want him to be like, no, my family honor. What if he says she's not attractive enough? Then nigga, he don't marry her. These dads are tripped. These dads and these brothers don't mind saying no to a dude, but they can't stand if the dude says, you know what? No, never mind. That bothers the hell out of them. More sensitive than the women. If I was a misogynist, I wouldn't have cared. It wouldn't have mattered to me. And I say this because most of you are not misogynist, gentlemen. You are called such because you simply aren't willing to be stuck being the incels or as close to it as the Western hyena bitches want you to be, so that you can be labor. And they can always turn to you for resources without reproduction. All the other 3 P's, minus the procreation. Shout out to Crimson Cure for breaking it down like that. They go to you for the first 3 out the 4 P's, not the 4th one, which is procreation. Have you doing all the first 3 P's for the results of some other dude's 4th P, which is procreation. That's what they would have us doing. And that would be most of us. And Austin Holloman wasn't going to fall for that, and now they mad at him. That's why someone pulled Stephanie's coat and got her on him, and she fell for it. If I was a misogynist, I wouldn't want you all going to anywhere to meet any women for any reason. Because I wouldn't want any good for them. I don't tell you all to travel because I'm a misogynist. I tell you all to travel because if the women are good, you're a good match for them in many cases. You weren't allowed to be anything else. You just weren't allowed to be matched with good women. Half the time, your own mothers wouldn't have done it. Some of y'all, you got your own mothers would sit up there and say, well, you need to be with this woman here with them 8 kids by 10 different baby daddies. Your own moms will tell you that. Your sisters will tell you that. Some of y'all really struggled because nobody cared. In your own family, they wanted you to settle for a bad deal. Like that's all you deserve. You can't possibly deserve no better. And for what? No good reason. None. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for listening. Black heart, black mind, black out, assalamu alaikum, and black, heterosexual, non-select, male power, just cause they don't like it in black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.